Wow, Dr. Dan, what have I learned in the last 2 weeks? I've learned that gaming, like many other aspects of education, is so not new. Gaming, like experiential learning, multiple intelligences, learning styles, or project-based education, has gotten lost in academics or in small pockets hidden away from the masses. So education as we know it has remained status quo for centuries. I learned that in 1915 H. G. Wells published Little Wars, which is known as the Wargamer's Bible today. People began playing strategic war games with paper and pencil and dice and cards for military purposes and for fun, and have continued throughout history. Things really heated up in 1966 when Tolkien's Lord of the Rings was published in the United States, and instead of soldiers, people could become orcs or elves or halflings wielding weapons or magic, and the role-playing became more serious and more fun. Dungeons and Dragons came on the scene in the early 1970s, and RuneQuest followed, introducing the idea of training to develop skills and levels of society of gamers was developing all over the world. Of course, with any type of society, there's good and bad, and there were a couple of suicides by young people who were dealing with mental instability, and one mom created an organization called BAD, bothered about Dungeons and Dragons, and blamed the game for brainwashing young people. She even wrote a book called Monsters and Mazes depicting what had happened, and the movie starring Tom Hanks soon followed. Eventually, people fought back and formed the Committee for the Advancement of RPGs, and in 1981 the Role-Playing Games Association began. The rebirth of RPGs was followed by the technology explosion, and of course now we have video versions, which keep getting better and better, and gaming is being looked at more seriously as part of what could vastly improve our educational systems. Also, with the advancement of technology has come global communication, and with that the opportunities for the exposure of gaming as a valid resource in learning. Gaming is gaining recognition and respect in the academic world and in the masses. It has become a billion-dollar business and has moved beyond small pockets of people here and there to part of our everyday lives worldwide. Of course, we still have bad with the good. On the one side we have Harris and Klebold, but fortunately on the other side we have Aldrich and G and Full Sail University. Imagine the learning that could take place in a collaboration of students creating, designing, producing, and using a video game to teach themselves and their peers anything from the Civil War to a new civilization with all its governmental, financial, and social systems. In my classroom, I think that planning productions and all the roles that entails could be a great way to incorporate role-playing. Although, after reading Aldrich, I've realized the amount of work it would take to make something exceptional. For the first time in all my years of being a student and a teacher, I'm finally hopeful that change is on the way for our youth. With global communication and Web 2.0, it will be harder and harder for the masses to remain unaware of what is going on in education. Hopefully, long-awaited and desperately needed changes will begin to take place, and we will finally see real-world education for all.